Alright, so this is just had a fret job and new little part installed. So this is an on-off switch right here. I'll remove the old tone pot. Okay, so now we have one tone pot here. It's wired into both of the middle and neck positions. Alright, I meant to film what I did to that Strat and how I wired it up, but it just didn't work out that way. There was just too much commotion going on here in the house and too much noise, and I just wasn't happening. So I wired it up, and I'll show you what it does, but this is exactly the same kind of switch that's in that Japanese Strat. And so what you have here, if you look at these switches, is bridge, middle, and neck pickups on this side, and then these two middle lugs, these are your output. So they just get soldered together, and then that's your output wire here to your volume. So this one here just outputs to the volume. And then finally you have three remaining lugs that will also get selected in each of the positions, and that's where your tone generally gets wired in. Now most Strats, what you see is a tone wired to the middle position and a tone wired to the neck position. So what I did was, he wanted to go down to one tone, so I took one tone pot, wired it. Okay, so you're just gonna have to believe my dramatic recreation here of events. Okay, this is a dramatization of actual events. Oh, for fuck's sakes, this is going sideways. Okay, so all I did here then was I removed the one tone pot that was dedicated to the neck position. I jumped the tone pot that was connected to the middle pickup and jumped it to this final lug here, so that when you select position 5, you'll get tone. That leaves, normally on one Strat, an unused lug on the tone pot side of the switch. Now, I should say that it doesn't really matter which way you wire up this switch. This all does the same thing, right? This is just two banks of 3 with each one common output. So that basically leaves us with this open lug for position 1. So what I do is, in position 1, you'll notice that it selects this lug for the bridge pickup. You go into position 2, and then it selects this one and this one, which is bridge and middle. Then you go into position 3, it's just the middle pickup. You go into position 4, it selects both middle and neck. Then you go into position 5, and it selects just the neck. So what I want to do is make that neck available in position 1. So what I did was, we took a simple on-off switch. Now this is not the kind of switch we use. The switch we have, I'm trying to represent, it's just a simple on-off switch. There's no ground connection, there's no nothing. It's just one wire coming out of one side and one wire coming out of the other side. So all it does is open and close the connection. So on-off. That's all that switch does. And it's just a rotary on-off switch. Alright, so all I've done to the circuit is piggyback off the connection to the neck to an on-off switch, and then the other side out to that last available lug. When you select position 1, the little on-off switch lets you basically open and close this connection to allow the neck to be also part of position 1. And so hopefully that's clear as mud how that works. Again, all I'm doing is jumping the neck to the only open position, the only remaining open position, right? Which, if you wanted to add tone control to your bridge pickup, which is normally what you'd do, is you'd bridge these two lugs, this one to that one, so that the first tone gives you control of your tone of your bridge pickup. But in this case, you still don't have any tone control over that first position, but you are allowed to add and remove the neck pickup, essentially giving you a sixth position in the switch. Alright, I got this really cool Japanese Strat, and it's already done. And I'm not sure where I'm gonna stick the video of what I did with the electronics, but essentially we've added a rotary switch. So I've pulled this tone pot. This is now your master tone and master volume, as always. But the difference in the way this is wired now, which I will probably have explained when I show you the electronics part, essentially allows you in position 1, where you would only normally get the bridge pickup, to add the neck pickup. So you see here in position 1, it's just a rotary switch, on off, and then I can either have just that or those two. Position 1 allows you either just the bridge or bridge and neck, and then if you go into position 2 you can have all three. Then if you go into position 4, it's the same. Position 3, it's the same. Position 4, it's the same. Position 5, it's the same. Everything else works the same. It's just that in positions 1 and 2, it allows you to add the neck pickup, which is kind of cool. And it seems to work just the way I wired it up. This needed a full, complete fret job. I don't know if I can remember where. I think it starts about here. So these frets are all new. At some point the owner paid to have these first 5 frets replaced, but we don't think they're the same kind of frets that were used originally. And he was having some trouble. And on this side you can see they're nice and flush and everything is great over here. But then on this side, it's really strange. That's all open. Anyway, they weren't level. The frets weren't level. So I leveled and crowned and polished, and they play great now. So let's have a look at this. It's crazy. It's got the neck tilt adjustment. It's basically like a 70s Strat. It's cool. It's cool. Let's plug it in.